Hello and welcome to Nuclear Reactor, and today we'll be reacting to the next part in the What If Cell Turned Good saga, and this should be really good, and as I said in the last video, I hope that I'm not without power for too long when this hurricane comes through, but I don't know how that's going to work out, and because right now, most of the models are showing it going on a direct path across the state and through Tampa, where I'm from. So with my luck, it'll still be a 2 or a Category 3 when it comes over Tampa, because they're still unsure if it'll be a Category 5 when it hits the East Coast. So it could be anywhere. I just don't know what it's gonna do. So wish me luck, guys. Anyway, we'll get on with this video, and I'll try to get as many videos lined up to drop automatically, so I won't have to worry about that if the power gets down. So anyway, here we go.
Come on, brother, sister. I just want to hug you. No.
He does that so good!
Hey guys, MasterCoX here. After a very brief vacation, even though the fact I'd put out videos anyway because I'd made them in advance so you wouldn't have noticed any difference anyway, I am back with another one for you. Now that I've followed up on a couple of the older stories after having waited months to actually follow them up, I'm now going back to one of the newer stories, which I actually consider one of my recent favourites. It explores something rather unorthodox, something I wouldn't usually tackle, but I thought I would anyway just for the giggles. I mean, okay, not as unorthodox as the whole what if Frieza turned good or anything, but no, that ain't gonna happen.
Does he have a What If Frieza Turned Good series? Can we do that next, please? It's up to y'all, but let me know, please, because that sounds awesome.
I'm talking about the idea of what might have happened had Bulma decided to take on the challenge of converting one of Dr. Giro's most ambitious experiments and turning it into the ultimate ally, complete with creepy bug powers, transformative abilities, and it'll go down well with the kids because, come on, it's a creepy 7-foot big bug monster. And what I'm talking about, of course, is what if Cell turned good. Granted, there is a little bit of a technicality involved here because the Cell, perfect Cell and all that, never turned good, and never did in this scenario because he was already programmed from Dr. Gero from another timeline, he was already corrupted with Frieza and King Cole's DNA, so there was no real redemption for that character. So as a result, this Cell we're talking about isn't the one we're talking about. But there is another one. The one that we're talking about here is the embryonic one from the present day. Something that Bulma took and was able to suppress the Frieza and King Cole DNA, making this Cell much more malleable, amiable, and less likely.
And also, I just want to say this really quick. I apologize for the videos just now getting out, though. As I've told y'all earlier this past weekend, I'd planned to get them out quickly, but if you can hear it in me, I've been sick in bed for the past 4 days now. So, I'm sorry if this is getting out late. I apologize.
To want to conquer and destroy worlds. When you throw in nurturing into the mix, this Cell is a completely different animal. Really quite excitable, childish, all thanks to the nurturing and influence of Goten and Trunks as they grew up together. In the last part, Cell, now known as Android 21, because Bulma wished to try and distance this Cell.
That's not a hot redhead. I want the other Android 21.
From the other Cell, and also the Android 21 was unbeknownst to the group at the time, had recently matured into its imperfect form and was thusly much more mobile and willing and ready to explore the wider world. This Bugman was in a whirlwind of emotions.
There we
The
go, sorry.
excitement of being able to see Goku at the upcoming tournament, having to learn the wider ways of the world thanks to his new master Piccolo, and then having to deal with the real harsh reality that his siblings, 17 and 18, wanted nothing to do with him. That's not enough. 21's getting some very odd looks from the Supreme Kai and Kibito, who are naturally at the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament, and keen to try and warn the group about the upcoming menace of Majin Buu. We start this episode with the adventures of our favourite Bugman, as everyone's getting about as to what the order is going to be for the tournament. The biggest omission from this time around is that Krillin doesn't take part in the tournament. And this is down to the fact that he was already in two minds about whether he wanted to continue with martial arts or not, so in this scenario, there is a role and an influence that he chooses to not do so and properly retire. And so therefore, he gives his place to Android 21. Thanking Krillin for giving him a chance, Android 21 gives Krillin a big bear hug in thanks, and the little guy is getting a little bit crushed by the big guy. Suffice to say, one of 21's things is giving people bear hugs. But let's get back to the story proper though. There are quite a few differences in the order and rundown of the actual tournament. It means that there are a couple of big changes. One, which is the lesser of the two, is that Android 18 doesn't initially fight Mr. Satan, but instead Pintar, which I think we can safely say 18 wins convincingly, barely having to do anything. So who's going to be fighting Mr. Satan then, the champion of the world? Well, again, it's none other than Android 21. You would think that Mr. Satan will be able to handle himself now that he's the world champion and had so many big book deals, movie deals, and all this thing, time to be the world champion, but no. The big champ himself is really in two minds as to how to handle this situation. Like with many other people, he's having to come to terms with the fact that he's about to face off against an 8-foot-tall big bug guy. You know, the face that only a mother could love. And have you seen his tail? Well, actually, it's probably best that you don't see the tail because it would horrify most people. And yes, Mr. Satan is fully aware that this Bugman isn't the same Bugman that took him out and embarrassed him all those years ago, but the similarities are there still. And not only that, he's having to also understand that he might genuinely lose because this guy hangs around with those guys who are really strong, and he had to talk about all the dirty tricks they were pulling up to appease the media. Yeah, he's not sure whether this person will actually toe the line and let him win. Be that as it may, the champ has a reputation to keep up. He can't let down his fans who've come all this way to watch him win the world tournament again. So he puts up his jukes and faces off
lose this
Android 21. He grits his
Android
teeth and
21's
starts
not
to
going to let
attack,
him win.
leaving 21 completely puzzled because all of the punches and kicks that Mr. Satan is doing are doing nothing. Are you going to attack and take this fight seriously? Mr. Satan? Hello? All of Mr. Satan's attacks are not making a dent on 21. Trying to brave the pain, Mr. Satan is continuing the fight with one eye closed. Really
Why is Masako so good at this?
That he might just be able to do it if he's just brave enough. 21 is really beginning to get bored now, so instead of actually just standing there, he decides to pretend that the fight's getting more and more intense, which goes down well with the crowd and the announcer. He's going, "Oh no, Mr. Satan, you are going to beat me this time if I'm not careful." No, that's blurring. Thanks to the hammy bravado that Android 21 got from hanging around Kid Trunks for all these years, he's able to pull this off very well. He isn't, however, willing to give up the fact that he might be able to win his first ever match in his first ever tournament. 21 is keen to impress Goku, whom he can sense in the crowd. 21 finishes the deed and knocks Mr. Satan out of the ring. The now ex-champ is unsure of what just happened and how he managed to get out of this ring almost unscathed, but the one thing that he's now having to think about is what he's going to try and explain to the fans later on. Up in the crowd, 17 and 18 are watching completely unconvinced of what 21's doing. 21 is trying to convey that he is not a monster or a creature that is really devious. He spared Mr. Satan from getting really injured and just knocked him out, simple as that, following the rules, being a good boy. 18 and 17 just do not respect the merciful act that 21 was doing, and continue to think that this guy is scum. Everyone...
Why are they hating on him so badly? He's trying his best for them. What do y'all think? Also, when I start the anime series, I think I've got the right ratio. I'm going to take it down by about 25 to 30% of the anime episodes off and cut up, and then I'm gonna fast forward it by a quarter of a second so it's a little higher pitch and faster speed up the video, so I should be able to post the full episode, or the episodes of that on there, but the full episodes, once I get my Patreon set up, will be on Patreon, unedited and everything. So y'all will, if y'all want that, let me know. I'm setting that all up. It'll take me a couple weeks to get everything squared away with that, and then I'll have the full episodes running out, and I'll get into more details as that gets closer. Anyway, here we go.
Around them starting to think that 17 and 18 are just being spiteful just because. Even Krillin's starting to think that, shouldn't you really give this guy a chance? He's trying really hard to be really with the team. The tournament continues with Piccolo
Yeah,
taking
exactly.
on Shin, the Supreme Kai, and it goes down as it does in the original story, with Piccolo taking the fall. But 21 isn't fully aware of why Piccolo took the fall. He genuinely thinks that Piccolo was defeated, so he rushes up to his master and asks him whether he's okay. Piccolo is fine, and then explains to his pupil the actual significance of the Supreme Kai, which blows 21's mind, having not really understood that there are other people from different planets out there. After having blown his pupil's mind, Piccolo then goes off to tell all of the rest of the Z-Fighters the significance of the Supreme Kai as well. But at the same time, 21's in the background giving over-exaggerated commentary, going, "He's the boss of the universe! I mean, can you believe that? That is so cool!" Bulma's just rolling her eyes and just thinking, 21 is so like her son, it's uncanny. Then we have the subsequent tussle with Gohan, Spopovich and Yamcha
Well,
with their
that's who taught him
shenanigans once
everything.
again, getting the energy from the young Saiyan. And then most of the gang are off in hot pursuit to try and stop them before they reach their master Babidi. Naturally, 21 is rather keen to help out. While Piccolo, as everyone's starting to leave, tells his pupil to stay behind and continue to take part in the tournament. Of course, 21 doesn't take this well, and thanks to his childish ways, he has a bit of a tantrum before Piccolo slaps some sense into him and tells him to control himself, stating that the Bugman has clearly shown that he's not ready to handle this responsibility. He orders 21 to stay behind, or else no one will ever trust him ever again. Naturally,
Oh, that was harsh.
exactly to push 21's buttons, so the Bugman
That was real
complies,
harsh.
albeit reluctantly. Despite missing out on one fight, little does the Bugman know that he's about to be embroiled in a completely different fight, which is a little bit more emotional and cerebral. 21 and 18 are going to end up in the final because they are now two distinguished people competing in this tournament. This pleases 17, of course, because he's keen to have her sister show this monster who's boss, now that he's in
Her
the stands
sister?
with his newfound family.
His.
Understandably, this fight is pretty fierce because 18, now for the first time in forever, or actually ever, is able to actually unload her post-trauma angst thanks to what Cell did to her in the past. Now, 21's just a proxy. For 21, he isn't prepared for all of the actual force that 18's unloading on him. All of the anger, all of the misery, all of the stuff that completely disrupted her life, she is now wailing on 21. Even though this 21 has nothing to do with Dr. Gero and was completely innocent and brought up by Bulma, Trunks, and Goten and all of that, it doesn't matter right now. In 18's mind, this Cell is vicariously
That's
responsible
wrong.
for all the stuff that happened to her and her brother all of those years ago. As this is all going on, 17 notices something. 18 is crying as she's punching, kicking, screaming, actually trying to get any kind of damage on 21. This is the most visceral and primal emotional outpour that he has.
I feel bad for her because she had so much happen to her, but she can't really vent out her emotions at the true cause of it. So she's going through this through proxy, and she can't touch him, basically. It's sad, really.
Ever seen from 18. However, 21 continues to stand at the ring, holding his own, now completely bewildered at his sister's fury. I mean, yeah, he does know about what happened in the past in a different context, but he still just doesn't get it, if you know what I mean. When she actually can calm down enough to speak calmly, she then states that, really, no matter what he tries to do, he will mean nothing to her. In fact, he doesn't even deserve to be referred to as a he. It is a monster. It will never be welcome amongst them. 21 then tries to get down.
Damn, that was cold. What the fuck? That was wrong.
Down on her level, stating that he is aware of the future Trunks timeline where she was evil and destroyed pretty much everyone on the planet. And
True.
here now, she has proven that with the right circumstances and the right nurturing, that anyone could become good. So why doesn't he get the same treatment and chance to show what he can do with the different circumstances? You know, he kind of senses that there are double standards, but, yeah, if he thinks that this will actually appease 18, he's got another thing coming, because this makes 18 even angrier. She charges furiously at 21, but 21's able to dodge her, and she's about to fall out of the ring thanks to her complete berserk rage, but thanks to 21's
Good.
skill, he's able to drag her back into the ring. She instinctively thinks that 21 is
Really?
trying to choke her, but no, he actually kept her in the fight. 18 then just stares at him and just states, "Why? Why did you do this? Why? Not like this." After that, 18 regains her composure and the fight starts anew. 18 manages to win the tournament by knocking 21 out of the ring, and she then does something that she thought she would never do with the Bugman. She offers a hand out to actually pull him back into the ring after the fight.
Did she get a change of heart? That's good. That's really good.
It's over. She then says something to 21, but isn't actually looking at him as she's saying it. "You know, I still don't trust you, but I think I can begin to tolerate you." At
Takes
this point,
time.
21 is just happy.
Good. Takes time.
Progress. Krillin is impressed with 18's sign of maturity, but 17, he's
17 will
not
be
impressed at all.
pissed.
After 18 is given the prize money and trophy for winning the tournament, everyone settles down, and the remaining Z members head off in pursuit of where Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta went off to try and see if they can help. When they get there, they are stunned to find that Kibito and Piccolo have been left there, turned to stone. And understandably, since Piccolo's now been turned to stone, this shocks and horrifies 21 the most, who tries to go over to the Namekian, well, I mean the Namekian statue now, trying to wake him up. But Krillin stops him, saying that if he's not careful, he might knock him over and shatter him, and then he'll never come back. He doesn't think that Namekians can regenerate after being turned into stone. Krillin feels that something bad must have happened here. He can't sense Popovich or Yamu anymore, but neither can he actually sense what's actually going down below, because it's quite clear the ship is there, but nothing's happening. But then it hits him. Where are Goku and Vegeta? They're not here, even though they were just a second ago.
Back at the
They're back
stadium.
at the tournament grounds again. The whole Margin Vegeta thing is happening. Meanwhile, the androids,
yep.
17, 18, and 21,
One of my
descend
favorites.
down to the bowels of the ship and then spot Gohan as he's about to take on Babidi and Dabura. Gohan then reveals to 21 that it was Dabura that turned Kibito and Piccolo into stone. And naturally, this angers the young Bugman, who is keen to take on Dabura in an act of revenge. And Gohan's not about to stop him. The two of them together take on Dabura, who's having trouble taking on two strong opponents at once. Meanwhile, 17 and 18 are trying to apprehend Babidi, but it's too late. Thanks to the energy being pumped out by Gohan, 21, Dabura, Goku, and Majin Vegeta, the sealed ball is about to be opened, and Majin Buu will now be raining his terror down upon the earth. And I think that's where we'll leave things for now. So what do you guys think? Do you think
No!
the androids will be
Don't
able
do
to
that
work
to me!
together somewhat
Damn
closely?
it! Come on!
The Bugman will actually be a worthwhile contribution to the fighting things at hand. Leave a
Maybe.
comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like
did.
and subscribe. Catch you later.
Definitely will. Thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed that, and on to the next reaction.